So this is day 2 with our new extruder, using the two engineers, 1 nanometer, 50 to 1 gearbox stepper motor, and it's doing a really good job now. I've got it printing a new idler because the old one doesn't have enough play. I want to be able to put a little more pressure on if I need to, although it's working very well. I just had a print where the nozzle came loose and started to move down, so I'm thinking later, when I get more ABS, I'll probably reprint the whole extruder assembly. I'm thinking I probably should have take advantage of the groove mount so it won't move down, but the friction generally is enough to hold it in. It's just that I didn't have it tightened enough, and I didn't realize it. Now it's as tight as can be, so it should stay just fine. The other thing I don't like about this, of course, is that changing the filament. It's tricky. You can't just... the thing is that the filament, when it goes through the holes, is automatically up against the Raptor gear, and so if you want to pull it out, you gotta, basically get it away from that gear, and that's not easy. So I think it'd be nice if I could, have it so it's adjustable, where, or have a hinge on it so that you can basically open it up and the filament path is pressed up against the gear rather than the, along with the idler perhaps, like the idler and the filament path can be connected together. And then those would go up against the gear instead of having it the way it is now, where the gear is always there in the filament path. So I'll probably mess with that some more, and then try to make something more of a single piece, and then also have the groove in there. But not for a little while. I've got a lot of work to do on deploying a website right now as we speak, and I want to get that done. I've got some feeds to build for it. I've got to import some blogs and some other things, but basically the site's going to go live later, and so I just thought I'd take time and print this. But one thing I did too is the other one I printed another one earlier. I'll pull that out. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Right. So this one here, and you can see that's actually the top layer. It's just terrible. The bottom looks fine, but on the top, I've gotten all this, mess. And then there's stuff in the holes. I'm not sure if the extrusion was right. So with Cura, I'm getting a much better result in general. I mean, it's making nice rounder holes. It's just basically much more solid looking. The extrusion is correct and everything. So this is basically the latest version of Slicer and the latest version of Cura as of early July 2013. So whatever those are, 13065 for Cura, and Slicer 0910 or 0911 maybe is out now. Maybe it's even 0912 at this point. I forget. I get mixed up, but I wanted to start playing with other slicers too. But this particular one, Cura, is nice because it tends to make lines that are just one continuous line as much as it possibly can. And so you get these really nice long continuous fills. So it ends up being really good. I've got right now running at about 53% speed. I was at about a little over 60 something before, and I think I'll go back to that. Right now I just sped it up a little so you can see the difference. One of the main reasons I tend to go slower is because of circles. Circular holes especially, like with different types of filament, PLA and ABS both, the inner perimeters of circles will just not adhere, and then they shrink and they turn into little ovals and they fall in and they just mess up everything. But with Cura, it has some tricks that it seems to employ to make sure not to do that as much. It has a little bit of overlap in the lines that it puts down, so I think that helps a little bit maybe. But watching it carefully, I think it would be nice to be able to run at higher speeds, but obviously it's not super necessary. I mean, if you're able to go this speed, generally, and just, print out a whole set of parts that takes like a day to print, or whatever, I mean, your machine has done its work, it's earned its keep. You shouldn't necessarily have to be able to print 3 whole sets of parts a day. And I don't know how you could really, unless you had multiple printers. But this, I really like this setup now. I'm really liking the fact that it seems to move filament a bit faster, so I am able to get higher speeds. I haven't pushed it too fast, because I just don't want to mess up this one part with my last bit of filament. But it would be fun to see how fast it can go and how well it performs. Right now you hear a little bit of vibration. That's coming from partly the fan vibration is being transferred over to the bearings on the rods, and possibly some of the motor vibration as well. And then, of course, as it moves on the axis, things shake a bit. But in general, I'm hoping the shake averages out so that I still get, don't get anything that looks too sloppy. In general, I'm getting really good. Everything is coming out really good. That last thing with the nozzle falling out was annoying, but I've faced that before. And also, leakage was another thing I faced before, and that was annoying. So, off to get some coffee and feed the cat, and we'll come back and see how this all came out.